So we are incredibly honored to have some time today to talk with President Sean Suggs over at Toyota Battery Manufacturing, North Carolina. As so many of us know, if not all of us know, about this incredible investment that Toyota has made in our state. I just wanted to ask President Suggs, thank you, by the
Yes,
way, for making time in your incredibly busy schedule to speak with me today.
yes. Really excited to be here today, and I'm honored that you would even have me. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is mine. Would you be so kind as just to introduce yourself and
Yeah,
to give an overview of this incredible project and investment in North Carolina?
absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for this time today. I'll start with the investment, and then I'll get into me. What a great opportunity for the state of North Carolina and Toyota. And we have announced an investment of $3.8 billion, which is amazing for our electrification efforts in North Carolina. 2,100 team members, which we're really excited about. Our production will begin in 2025. It may seem like a long way away, but for us, it's like tomorrow, for the planning perspective. So we believe that this plant has a long and bright future. This is going to be the first plant that will produce lithium-ion batteries for Toyota. So we're really excited about that. We'll have HEV batteries and BEV batteries, which means hybrid, and also the battery electric batteries that we'll produce here in North Carolina. And obviously, reducing our carbon footprint is always really important for us. And we've done that over the past 22 years with our hybrid lineup. We've sold more hybrid vehicles than any OEM combined. So we're really excited about that. Now, let me tell you a little bit about me. I started at Toyota 24 years ago as a production team leader on the production line. And I have been very, very blessed and humbled to have this position as president today. I've done many, many different jobs at Toyota, from manufacturing to HR to strategic planning, many different jobs. But what's also near and dear to me is my mom. Oh, you hear that phone? Sorry about that. My mom is originally from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So I've got roots in North Carolina, 50 miles east of here. And so it's like coming home for me. And I'm really, really excited about that. And what also gets me excited is my job. I'm looking at the construction of this all the way to our start of production. But now I get to empower the team to do all the heavy lifting and things that we need to do to make this a successful project. That's my joy, empowering the team and seeing them thrive.
Thank you so much. I had seen a few other interviews with you, and I saw that not too long ago there was this promotional video from showing the manufacturing of the production lines at Toyota, and you're there in a hard hat saying, "I love my job." I saw that. That was.
Hey, look, I still get a lot of people talking to me about that. They're teasing me about that. But look, 24 years ago, when I started at Toyota, I had the same energy I have today. I mean, it's just a phenomenal company. They take care of their people. They take care of the community. And, it's just an awesome place to work. And that same energy from then, I have the same energy now. It's awesome. I still love my job.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. I remember when we were part of the team along with the EDPNC and the local economic development office that welcomed the delegation from Toyota, and only a few people, the people who were allowed to know of who they were, coming in and looking at presentations, from myself and other people at NC State and then other universities here in the state. And I could really feel from that delegation the energy that everyone was really excited to be there, so that it was contagious. Thinking about this enormous project, and like you said, 2025 is going to be here really quickly.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
I wanted to ask, what were the main factors that Toyota North America were looking at when they selected the Greensboro-Randolph Megasite over there in Liberty?
Mm. Well, I'll tell you that obviously when you're looking for a place to call home, renewable energy is always important. Uh, the transportation mechanisms, rail, air, highways, seaports, all of those things are really important, really, really important. But what's also probably at the pinnacle are diverse workforce. Can you hire people? Is the infrastructure there? Like we've got some phenomenal universities in this area, North Carolina State as an example, that we believe that can supply the diverse workforce that we're going to need to make this happen. So you take all of those collective things together and you assess what's going to be best, but not only for Toyota, it's also for the area that we're going to be in as well. The one thing that I think a lot of people will learn about Toyota is this is not just a pull, this is also a push. We're going to give back to the community as much as we possibly can. So you take the infrastructure, you look at that, you take the resource base, you look at that, what's that future look like? And boy, I tell you, it looked really, really good for the Randolph County site. And that's why we selected it. It just was a win-win for Toyota, I can tell you that.
Thank you so much. Anyone who's been keeping up with the news, has seen the commitment that Toyota has been making and has ramped up recently. I think it's something like for electrification, was it 70 billion, globally, and which I'm sure will just continue to grow. This is really a big deal, really going towards this future of sustainable energy and going to EV. One of the things that I wanted to know about is from your perspective, and I know that operations are to begin in 2025. What does success look like in that first year? And that's the first part. Second part is then from that point on, we're looking mid, right? 3 to 5 after. What does success look like in those two time frames?
Yeah, great question. And I'll tell you that the preparation that we're doing now is for that success in the first year. Like, for an example, I was just in Japan a few weeks ago, learning and understanding our equipment, the process. And look, we're still moving dirt and concrete here in North Carolina, but our preparation and planning and development is ongoing. And just like you mentioned, 2025 will be here before you know it. So our preparation, getting ready for that first year is going to be huge. We're going to have 4 hybrid lines, and we're going to have 2 battery EV lines that we're going to have. And getting that preparation ready for those are going to be critical. So success for us is to make sure when we ramp up from the first battery to the 100th battery to the 1,000th battery to the 100,000 battery in that first year, that we've got a really good pipeline of success. So all of this preparation work that we're doing now is huge and critical for our success. The next 3 to 5 years after that is that momentum building, making sure that we're sustaining those great results, the customer quality is great, and then we continue to grow, continue to grow, continue to grow. That's a part of our thinking way in our Toyota production system that we try to use. We just continue to build, and continue to build. But that first year is going to be a very, very important year for us in our success.
I would expect that then moving forward after that first year, as you're saying, continuing to grow and utilizing that Kaizen continuous improvement methodology that is so famous in Japanese manufacturing and production processes, that you're also finding efficiencies, right, in the production process, finding those economies of scale and scope. What does that look like during a normal production process? If you can just give me very general, I mean, are you finding that some machines can be used for more purposes or different purposes than the original design? What does that look like?
Well, obviously Kaizen is our DNA. I mean, our pillars are respect for people and continuous improvement. That Kaizen word means change for the better. So we're always looking for a better way. I gave you the example about me being in Japan and looking at the equipment. Even in Japan, we were improving the equipment that our Japanese counterparts were using. Once we go to the Gemba or the shop floor, we're always looking for a better way. So we may spec out a piece of equipment today, and as we run it or run trials, we may get a Kaizen of 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds to that equipment that will improve efficiency, make sure the quality is world-class, and reduce the burden of the team member, to be honest with you as well. You know, in this great world that we're living in now, we're going to have to coexist with the machinery that we're going to use and the team members that are going to use it. So that Kaizen spirit is real for us, and we use it every single day. But the key point is you have to have a standard before you Kaizen. So you set the standard, and then you continuously improve, continuously improve, continuously improve. So we're doing that today. With the new equipment that we're building, our construction process, we use Kaizen. It's ingrained into our culture.
And just to give everyone an idea of how big this facility, I mean, it's like something like, what is it, 1,300 football fields or something?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's enormous.
Yes, we're going to be on 1,800 acres. And I will tell you that probably the manufacturable piece of that will be a little over 1,000 acres that we'll use initially. But what's beautiful about this mega site is it gives us room to grow and advance. And I think from the governor of this state all the way down to the mayor of Liberty, they looked at that and knew that not only are they looking for today, but they're looking long term as well. So it's really exciting.
That's wonderful. So and we know that when Japanese companies, or ultimately Japan parent company owned companies, come into North Carolina, they often send people on rotation or on assignment, chuzai, and they are usually maybe 2 to 3 years, sometimes a little bit longer. And I wanted to know, just starting out at TBMNC, about how many Japanese nationals are you expecting to be at the facility?
Yeah, it's another good question. And that always depends on the scope, the load, and the timing. So I don't have like a specific number to give you today, but you are correct. We will have our Japanese liaisons here with us to help. Just like we go over there and learn, they come over here and learn, teach, and grow and guide. So throughout this entire process, we will ramp up our Japanese counterpart support throughout this process. And then once the learning happens, they'll ramp down and then they'll go back. That's our philosophy. But at any given point, we may have 5, and at any given point, we may have 20 or 25. But that number is going to vary depending on the load.
Well, it's our job at the Japan Center and our other organizations here in the state to make sure that the people here coming from Japan are welcomed into our community, yes, and they have the resources they need. You were talking a bit before about how great it is to work at Toyota, and this is something that I've heard from other people. And looking at how Toyota interfaces with universities, right? From community colleges all the way up to land grant universities like NC State. What are the main things that you are looking for in graduates, right? Really at a high level, what are you looking for in the people you hire from universities and colleges?
Well, I'll tell you, we're looking for outstanding team members, and that equals team members that are problem solvers, critical thinkers. But even if they're ordinary, we want to turn them into extraordinary. And we want to do that with our TPS systems, our fundamental skills, et cetera. We just want a passion and an interest. And if we have that, boy, that's half the battle. You take a college like North Carolina State, who's ranked in the top 30 for engineering across the country. We know that talent's there, and there's other universities in this region with similar results. So like I mentioned to you earlier, when we landed here, we were like, wow, we're going to have a jackpot full of people that can help build what we need to build here. So we're looking for there's certain skill levels that we believe that will make you success. Teamwork obviously is really important. But even if you don't have all those skills, we have the systems and the development tools to get you there. For an example, we have a program called the AMT program, where we partner with community colleges, where you actually go to community college for a couple of days. You come work at our plant for 3 days a week. After 2 years, you have your degree, but you're also a certified skilled maintenance worker, as an example. So it's a collaborative effort. I want all the members out there who's interested in Toyota to know you may not have all the skills today, but we can help you get there.
That's wonderful to hear. I'm sure that we'll be seeing a good presence of TBMNC at the NC State Engineering Career Fair. It's really big, and they have 2 of them a year. They have them in fall and spring. The fall one is usually bigger, and we have so many kids that come out there, even from other states, coming in for that career fair. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
So not only NC State University or and the North Carolina Japan Center, but all of us here in North Carolina, what can we do to best support TBMNC's operations?
Well, I'll just tell you this, you're already doing it. Like this is a really good example today of us getting a time to chat, and so we can teach and coach people on who we are and why we are. And it's already happening. The partnerships are already there. I'll tell you that the red carpet has been rolled out for Toyota since the announcement happened. Prior to the announcement, the red carpet was rolled out. But we have had nothing but great partnerships, people wanting to lend a helping hand. It's been a phenomenal experience. And I don't see it ending. This triad community is strong. We're happy to be here. And I really appreciate you asking what you can do. I would just say continue to do what you're doing. Keep reaching out, and we'll keep doing the same thing. We really appreciate it.
Well, President Suggs, I know that you're incredibly busy. Thank you so much for making time for us today. I know that our audience is very interested in what TBMNC is doing and will be doing. And we look forward to having you all here for a very long time. Thank you so much.